What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we are talking Port Adelaide.
And Port Adelaide.
A lot has gone right for Port Adelaide this season.
Port Adelaide is revered as the
Port Adelaide's banking on
about footy is Port Adelaide.
It's Port Adelaide football.
Let's get straight into the first thing that's on the top of my list, and that would have to be the 2018 leadership group has been announced, and Travis Boak stays captain. As some of you, or all of you may know, that I did a video on who should be captain for 2018, and I specifically said Travis should stay, so I'm very happy with that decision by the club and by Travis's peers and his teammates as well. Obviously choosing him to be captain for another year, that will take him on to his 6th year as captain, obviously starting in 2013, and he's already the record holder for the most games captain at Port Adelaide in the AFL. So good on Travis to be a well-known leader, and he's definitely worthy of that. Such a champion player, and hopefully takes us to something special this year. Ollie Wines is the vice captain once again, obviously ready-made to be the new Port Adelaide captain. May happen next year, who knows. A couple of new additions this year. Tom Rockcliffe and Charlie Dixon have been added to the leadership group. I think after last year's performance, Charlie Dixon definitely deserved to be picked into the leadership group. Such a presence up forward and does so much hard work around the ground. He's definitely worthy of being put in the leadership group, and he's got those leadership qualities that could become captain one day as well, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. But definitely Charlie is suited for that leadership role, and definitely will boost his confidence up the front and kick a few more goals. Tommy Rockcliffe is the other one, as I mentioned, new to the club in the off-season, and it's a strange one for me, probably the most controversial pick for the leadership group, especially considering he hasn't played one single game for Port Adelaide yet, so you'd think maybe 1 year in he'd then get put into the leadership group. But obviously being captain at Brisbane, he's built up a reputation in the AFL and obviously now at the club. Yeah, I think he'll be a good addition to the group itself, but we'll have to wait and see whether or not it affects his performances. Predominantly will play in the midfield as well, as I saw in the press conference, so that'll be good and handy for any fantasy players out there. You know what I'm talking about. And obviously the others that have been picked as well would be Brad Ebert, Tom Jonas and Hamish Hartlett. I think Hamish has come back into the leadership group this year. A total of 7. I think that's just on the cusp of the enough you need. Preferably you'd only have 3, 4 or 5. 7 may be too much, but obviously the club sees that it's building a leadership quality. They're united together, and it doesn't matter what position you play, what position you are a valuable member. So, well, that basically rounds up the leadership group. A good bunch of players, good quality, strong-minded players, and obviously with Travis leading them, it's going to be a good year for the Power, I think. The next thing I'd like to talk about was the AGM that happened on Friday night at Alberton Oval. A few points to take away from it. I'll read them out now for you. The biggest one for me was the net profit of $999,464, which is an excellent achievement for the club. Obviously, after that, all the expenditures and stuff like that will be cut down. But a good profit for the 3rd year in a row, which for me takes last year of a bigger positive, I think. If you look at these stats or these facts for you, 2017 was an overall success because China happened, which was a brilliant success with the club winning the game and promoting the game as well, right across China and broadcasting it back to Australia. Both the Magpies and the Power made finals. Obviously the Magpies going down in the grand final and Port Adelaide Power going down in circumstances that should never ever happen again. 60,000 members once again for the 3rd year in a row, which is an excellent achievement, hopefully to push more this year, but 60,000 members again, well done. And as I said, profit for a 3rd year in a row, which in itself is fantastic. It's not really affecting the debt that we have too much of 7 million, but keep grinding away. You know, we'll have a good year this year, I feel, and we'll be able to push and probably achieve more than anything, and hopefully it becomes a successful season, both on and off the field, for both the Power and the Magpies. One more thing I'd like to talk about was also on AGM night was the new sponsor, which you would have seen across social media. Hasn't been fully announced by the club yet, but was announced on Friday night. Thrifty are a new sponsor for the club this year. You would have seen them on the shorts and a few pictures online. So they have joined up as the new sponsor for 2018 and beyond. And also, Koshi mentioned that there will be 2 new sponsors being announced over the coming weeks. One probably will be this week sometime. I'm thinking Family Day because that will be most suited, but it could be any day possible. So keep an eye out for that, Port fans. So 2 new sponsors coming. And lastly, I'd like to talk about the injuries that have been roaming around the club. Wingard, Motlop, Pollock and Matthew Broadbent all have little injury niggles. He has a ankle injury, obviously, that's been buggering him since late last year. So Matthew Broadbent will probably miss the first bunch of games for 2018, which is unfortunate because I think he's a valuable member of the team. But it gives others opportunities and probably more game time, especially the likes of Dan Houston and Riley Bonner, along with Hartlett and Pittard as well, mixed in there. Wingard, Mollop and Pollock all have little niggling hamstring injuries. And Ken Hinkley has said that all 3 will play throughout the JLT series, whether or not it is the first game or the last game. They'll have at least 1 game each to see how they pull up. And obviously, one last thing on injuries as well. Brad Ebert came back and is fully training from his shoulder reconstruction that he had, or shoulder surgery that he had over the summer period. So that is good news on the front for injuries. Only a few niggles, so as we push to this closer to the season, they can recover well, and we get ready for round 1, which is only 45 days away. That's it, Port fans. That wraps up another edition of Talking Port Adelaide. We are getting closer and closer to the season beginning. Family Day is this weekend, Saturday the 10th of February. The internal trial will be had, and also player signings and a lot of family activities going along around the ground at Alberton. So head down there if you are free. Drag the parents out of the house. It will be a cooler day than what it has been in Adelaide at the moment. I'll be attending as well, roaming about throughout the day. And yeah, we'll have a good day, I think, Port fans. It'll be a lot of fun, and definitely looking forward to seeing a lot of the players and how the new players look in our Port colours. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe for plenty more Port Adelaide content. Can't stress enough, we are going to be having a big year on the channel for the club, and we'll be covering everything that happens around the grounds. One last thing as well, please follow the Portrait Podcast for more Port Adelaide content. The podcast will be starting up pretty soon, so if you are on Facebook, please give us a like and tune into what we have to say about the club on a weekly basis on Wednesday nights. And if you want to follow me on social media, it all is in the description below. Thank you very much for tuning in, Port fans. My name is Anthony, and obviously, can the pair?